What is going on, everybody? The Talk Critic back here with another episode. Real quick, if you like my channel, like, subscribe, do what you have to do to get more content from me. To my fellow subscribers who have been with me this entire time, thank you so much. I see you. This wouldn't be possible without you. So right out of the gate, today we're going to be talking about a new title I've recently played called Visage, or Visage. Now, in the comments, don't roast me alive, please, because I have done my research on this game. I have tried to come up with most details on it, and I can't come up with a concrete answer on if it's called Visage or Visage. I have seen professional reviews call it Visage, so I'm just gonna stick with the guns on that and call it Visage. If I am wrong in the comments, please tell me so we can correct that. So yeah, today, as if you've followed my channel, you probably come to the understanding that the horror genre is closest to home with me. That's what I enjoy watching the most, and honestly, in terms of filmmaking, that's kind of where my interests lie in making it. Clever horror, not the Conjuring universe, that garbage. I'm talking like titles like Hereditary, The Lighthouse, Midsommar, The Witch. You got it. I'm gonna get ate alive in the comments for Midsommar, but I love it. It's just what it is. The Shining, for example, good horror films, not ones that rely on cheap jump scares. Now, let's drift off into the video game topic, considering that's what this video is about. I'm a PS4 user. I unfortunately do not have 5K to jump on and throw on a PC as much as I would love to. And I have almost bought up every single opportunity of horror, good horror there is for the PS4 console before I can get my hands on a PS5. Resident Evil 8, I'm so excited. So yeah, I've played through most of them, and I thought my horror genre, there was a time when I thought I couldn't get any new horror titles for the console I had, until I did some research and came across Visage, which is up top. Now, for those of you who don't know, Visage is kind of, forgive my saying here, but like the bastard offspring of PT. Now, a lot of you don't know what that means. PT was a title released, oh my gosh, I've never played it. Before I get into this, I've never played it, but from my gaming community friends, I have been told in the horror department, you cannot get better than PT. It's not on any market, it's not anywhere, so it was apparently a prototype. Silent Hill genre is what I'm picking up, and playing this game you tend to see a little bit of that, which is beautiful. Silent Hill, for those of you who don't know, is one of the, in my opinion, greatest horror games ever made. I remember my dad playing it when I was I was little, long story short. That and Resident Evil. So yeah, PT was a big deal when it was first around, and then we don't have it anymore, and the closest game I have seen review on the internet, anything I've seen, Visage. So after all that talking, let's talk some more about this game. So right out of the gate, I have to tell you right now, if you struggle with anxiety or a mental disorder of any kind, depression, you name it, there is a warning for this game because the developers and people behind it is specifically targeted for those individuals. And you probably ask yourself, well, why would you want to play a game that targets that kind of thing? Well, because some of us are all madmen and love to, torture ourselves with video games. Me, for example. And that's what this game does fantastic. It targets every ounce of anxiety you have. Even if you're not an anxious person, it targets that. I'm normally a very chill and collect person. I know my videos don't seem like I am, but I am. I'm calm and collect. And this game did not make me calm and collect for a single aspect of it. And I gotta say, it's not an easy game. There's not a set difficulty for this game. It was just a set difficulty that the developers themselves made. And I love that. I hate a horror game when Resident Evil's bad about it. You can go into it, you can pick what difficulty you want. I wish more developers would target their games, and this is the difficulty we want you to play it. That's how the game's meant to be played, which is something my roommate told me last week as we were looking at this one. He made the really cool comment of, he always picks expert for video games because that's how the developers are meant those games to be played, and I never thought of it that way. And that's kind of what Visage is. Visage is a psychological horror game, and you are basically trapped from first-person perspective. You are trapped inside this house where terrible things have happened. I'm pretty sure that's a copy-paste description from the actual gaming description. Now, before I continue with this review, where can you get this game? If you're a PlayStation user, you can go into the PlayStation Network store right now and pick this game up for $34.99. I think tax-wise, it's $37.99, something around there. But please do it. Before I'm done with the review, it's well worth the play. If you're a horror games fan, please go pick this up. So it's a psychological horror video game. based from the first-person perspective. You have very cool options in this. There's no guns. You can't shoot your way out of this one. You can hide and run. That's about the only option you got for this. Kind of like Outlast, if any of you are familiar with those titles. Outlast, in my opinion, for the longest time was like the holy grail for top-edge horror for me until I played this beast behind me. Outlast does some things that are brilliant. You get the video camera aspect, the lighting in the eyes, the little details, and I feel like this game, and people I've learned from Outlast, the original in particular, 2 was a little confusing, but the graphics were beautiful, and it was kind of, I don't know, I enjoyed it. Little unorthodox, but I still enjoyed it. But with this game in particular, I love the fact that there are no monsters and ghouls and manifesting creatures is what I'm like to say. No zombies, none of that bullshit. You literally have, it's psychological, it's paranormal, it's ghost. You literally go through the house trying to make sure that you can flip on every single light I could find because I didn't want to be in the darkness. And that's a thing. I'm going to give kind of light spoilers here. I'm not going to ruin the game. Everybody will have their own experience, their own unique experience, trust me. There isn't really a way to spoil this game, which is beautiful. That's why I love it. So going through this game, you kind of get the sense of you're trapped. Like there's a lot to do, there's a lot to see and discover, and I'm not going to lie to you, you're more than likely going to have to Google some stuff on like how to get through certain aspects of this game, and I encourage you to do that if you have to. If you don't have to and you can figure it out on your own, more power to you. I'm just saying I myself was having difficulty getting through this game because it is a challenging game, and I respect the people behind it for handling it the way they did. They treated horror fans of the video game genre with respect, and thank you for that. For the price of $37.99, can't beat it. So, I sound like a marketing ad, good God. There are certain aspects about this game that are interesting. Light is a big factor. It's a psychological aspect. You'll notice on the bottom left hand of your screen, if you are left in the darkness long enough, you'll start getting a red little dot, and it'll get more and more vibrant, until you see a brain. When you see that brain, you're essentially dead, I'm just going to tell you. That's literally it's almost like psychosis. It's your mental capacity, meaning you're going insane and you're seeing crazy stuff. The longer you're in the dark, the more paranormal stuff you see. That's amazing. And also, no horror game is great without an excellent sound design. And I think that is what this game excels at. The sound design is fantastic. The rain hitting the windows on the outside, the footsteps through the hallway, the creaking of doors. And let's just talk about this car alarm, because there's a car alarm that drove me crazy until I figured out how to shut the damn thing off, and I did finally. But other than that, this game is special. For horror fans in particular, it is a special experience to be a part of, and I am so grateful I went out and found it. And that's the thing. I didn't really know much about this game until I saw a couple screenshots here and there, and it was very hard for me to find reviews. I mean, you can get a couple on YouTube, sure, but finding information on this game, you can't really find much. It's a low-budget company, so finding something like that, I mean, I get it. But it amazes me to see the fact that a low-budget company can take what they have and give us this kind of experience, and then you have a company with millions of dollars, well, EA, or most recently CD Projekt Red for their Cyberpunk 2077 that was rushed into the hands of the gaming community. Now, granted, gaming community, we did kind of rush it a little bit. We did kind of poke and hey, give us. We rushed it a little bit. It's not entirely the company's fault on that. So I'm not going to roast them enough. They're getting destroyed right now with lawsuits, and you've probably heard, if you kept up in the video game world, it was a train wreck. Back to the real video game we're talking about. So getting through this game, you tend to get a sense of eerie, something bad has happened here. And it's beautiful that a game can do that without even spelling it out for you. And trying to solve these puzzles in this game is a strict challenge. My God. Don't play it drunk. Don't play it under any influence whatsoever, because I'm gonna tell you, it's rough enough sober. So, that being said, play it sober. You're going to need your brain for this one. I'm just saying. And getting through breaking it down, the game is split up into 3 chapters. Each chapter has its own, I'm going to call them the antagonist for each chapter. And they just get scarier and scarier. And then you get to a certain point in the game where you put the controller down and say you're done. So yeah, when I first sat down trying to play this game, I had my headphones in, lights off, everything set up. I was a fully committed horror fan ready to indulge my senses. And then 5 minutes into the game, I took all my headphones off, turned the sound down on my television behind me, turned all my lights on, and curled up in my bed behind the camera. So, yeah, you know, this one gets at you. And I asked myself, did I meet my limit? Did I meet my limit for a video game in the horror genre? And I think this is possibly it. Now, a lot of you are going to make fun of me for that. I think it's good and healthy to have limits, don't you? I mean, otherwise you'll end up like a madman, which I think this is what this game wants you to be. So, from an entire video game spectrum for this, I will tell you that the sound design is almost what works best. The mechanics are a little slow here and there. You're going to have to get used to it. You're going to have to give yourself time to figure out how to play this game. It took me about an hour to kind of get the hang of everything and like the mechanics. Your best friends are going to be candles and lighters and pills. Pills in particular. Pills keep your sanity down. That way you don't end up dying or something stupid in the dark. So they ration them. They're more precious than bullets in Resident Evil. Expert mode, I'm just saying. Keep your pills by your side. You pop the pills, your sanity's good to go. Lighting is also I'd say lighting is probably the most important aspect. You can go throughout the house and turn off, you can turn on all the lights and keep everything on. You can light candles, make sure yourself feel safe and cozy. And that's what made me appreciate this game the most, was the fact that they could take something as simple as lighting and make it feel as if it was a safety tool for the gamer. That's effective. Not everybody can really do that, and the fact that they pulled that off so flawlessly was, I wish more companies would take notes on that. Developers, sorry. So there are a couple tricks, because sometimes throughout the game, you'll have a breaker, flip, or switch, and if I were you, I would figure out a certain way of taking on this game. If you take it a certain direction, it can mess up an entire different area, and you have to go back and fix that. I ran across that several times, and that was annoying but clever, and it really taught you that you have to pay attention and figure out where what is at. It is a challenging title. It is a beautiful title. The graphics are phenomenal, especially for the download size. I think it's 18 gigabytes, give or take. I could be wrong on that. I have to go check. But I have to tell you, it's a wonderful experience. Put down the money, play it. If you're a horror fan of any kind, please just play this game. That's what I can tell you. I cannot tell you that it is the greatest horror game I ever played, because I haven't sat on it long enough. I just finished it, so I'm cautiously sitting back, I can't call it the greatest because I haven't sat on it for, a year or come back and revisited it. Maybe in a year it'll be my favorite, but I'm not going to be naive and tell you that this is one of my favorite games. I am going to tell you, in terms of horror, it is one of the finest examples I've seen of it done. So I don't know what to say to that. I'd say video game wise, it is a sell. Please pick it up. It well worth the purchase. I think the gameplay hour is about 10 hours, which is beautiful for a horror game. And it does feel long. It does. There are some parts where wow, this is a long game. Well worth the purchase. Not like $60 for a 3-hour, Resident Evil 3 game they give you for a remake, which the graphics and everything was beautiful, but they nerfed the greatest villain in Resident Evil history, Nemesis. And I don't know. Capcom was wonderful with the Resident Evil 2 remake, and then they kind of faltered with that 3 release. I think it was just to keep us gamers entertained until 8 comes out. So I understand it in a sense. But for a $60 value, no. This is literally $37. Pick it up. You're going to be entertained for hours. And it's going to last you longer than 10 hours. I couldn't beat this thing in 10 hours if I wanted to. I had to take a break. That's the thing. I had to manually tell myself to sit down and take a break because this game was panicking me so much. The horror, the tension, the anxiety. I was sweating playing this game. That never happens. I love a horror genre. That's just how I am. So yeah, I'm going to tell you that Visage is well worth the play. Please go check it out. Pick it up. Google anything you have to. Light is your best friend. Holy hell, please, for the love of God, and stock up on your pills. Don't be an idiot and accidentally use them all in the beginning like this guy, because it was not a good time. It was very stressful, and I about lost it on multiple occasions. And sometimes you're going to want to give up. You are going to want to give up. You're going to want to give up in this game. I'm urging you to not do that. Buckle down, Google what you have to, stick through it, get through this game, because the ending is well worth it. It is a terrifying experience, but the story is heartfelt, and it kills me. Oh, this game kills me. Sometimes it will direct you, and sometimes it don't. You just got to play through it. So yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, Visage is, as far as a horror experience go, it almost doesn't get better than this. It is a terrifying experience, and I'm not going to call myself a veteran of the genre, but I would without a doubt say I'm experienced in it and I love it, and that's what I love to see, is when a developer can come out and give us something new and exciting and wonderful to play and appreciate all together. And I think right now in the day and age and the world and everything, I love to see people coming together and enjoying one thing and having the same opinion on one thing and enjoying it together. I mean, that we don't normally get that nowadays. So everything I've seen on this, I haven't really found a bad review. So, I mean, I'm going to add mine to the list of good reviews. So, yeah. Visage, ladies and gentlemen, please go pick it up if you have not had the chance. You can. It's digital copy, so buy it, play it. Tell me what you think in the comments if you played this game. Please, seriously, I need the feedback on it. That'd be beautiful. So, yeah. That was a longer video. We're pushing, I don't know, 15 minutes right now. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next one.